The thing is with us Malayalis, Onam is always about going to cinema theaters, watching a film with your family, then coming back and having their Onam Sadhya. So this year, Amazon Prime Video is bringing cinema theaters to your home, and the big Onam film that Malayalis hopefully will watch with their family this year will be Kuruthi.
Making the most of the virtual world by setting up your office in the car right now. Was it tough being an actor and a producer at the same time, handling two roles?
I've never been an actor and a producer. I take decisions on the creative side. The check needs to be signed by my wife. She takes care of that. Kuruthi എന്ന വാക്കിന്, കുരുതി കൊടുക്കുക എന്ന വാക്യത്തിന് ഒരു പ്രസക്തിയുള്ള ഒരു കഥ ഈ സിനിമയ്ക്ക് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു.
നന്ദി. Thank you so much.
You definitely didn't date your wife speaking in Malayalam. That much I know.
No, we did not.
Yeah. Being an actor and a director is slightly tough. Like what I'm doing right now. I'm shooting a film called Bro Daddy, where I'm also playing a full-length role and I'm directing the film. That is tough. I have newfound respect for legends like Clint Eastwood and Bhagraj sir and Balachandra Menon sir and all these legends. So
wishing you all the best for your film and in advance, Unasham Sagal.
എല്ലാ മലയാളികൾക്കും ഇന്നോടെ എത്തിച്ചേർന്ന മാധ്യമ സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾക്കും എന്റെ സ്നേഹം നിറഞ്ഞ ഓണാശംസകൾ. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം. You can ask your wife what that means.
Definitely. Prithiviraj sir, request to share a few words with our friends from the media who joined us here.
Firstly, thank you all to my friends in the media for coming and joining us in this Kuruthi press meet. And like Vijay rightly mentioned, the press and the media has always supported cinema, and over the past 1.5 to 2 years, cinema, as we know, has been not the same, in the sense that how we perceive, how we see content, how we get to discover content is completely changed because of what has been happening around us. So thank you once again for joining us. And like Vijay said, Amazon and me, we now have what we can confidently call a long-standing relationship. And it is indeed the case that today, Amazon is pretty much a showcase of some of the best of Malayalam cinema. And I think a lot about how Malayalam cinema is now no longer cinema just for Malayalis. A lot about that, the credit should go to Amazon Prime Video. I know for a fact that, there are people who have discovered Malayalam cinema and who have become fans of Malayalam cinema through Amazon Prime Video. And I hope that Kuruthi propagates that trend even further. There are films, all of us do many films. Over the years, I've done many films. And then there are these films that you get attached to. There are these certain pieces of cinema that strike something within you. Now, also being the producer of this film, it will just seem like I'm saying this because I know I produce this content. But even if I were not, even if I was just playing a part as an actor alone in Kuruthi, this film would have been special. This is the kind of content that it is, the kind of cinema that it is, the kind of film that we have managed to make. Kuruthi for me is a very, very personal film. It's a very, very special film. And given the circumstances, I do not think this film could have gotten a better stage than Amazon Prime Video as Kerala's big Onam release. The thing is with us Malayalis, Onam is always about going to cinema theaters, watching a film with your family, then coming back and having their Onam Sadhya. It's always been that. From childhood, it's been that. So this year, like Vijay rightly said, since we will not be able to go to cinema theaters, Amazon Prime Video is bringing cinema theaters to your home. And the big Onam film that Malayalis hopefully will watch with their family this year will be Kuruthi. Thank you once again for joining me.
Thank you so much. The big screen magic on your device at home. So it's a home theater, as Vijay sir always says, create your home theater. And Prithiviraj sir, I must say, I love your stage setup. You're, making the most of the virtual world by setting up your office in the car right now.
I am unfortunately shooting a film in the outskirts of Telangana, and the mobile range is very iffy. So I've had to drive my car out to a point where I found some range on my mobile phone, and I've put my car system on the hotspot. And I'm doing the press conference in the car. So that's a first.
That's a first, and also the perks of the virtual world. We can connect from wherever we want. So I'm sure this project is very special to you. Your thoughts on it launching on Amazon Prime Video for the global audience?
Yeah, so Vijay has been really kind. And I agree that Malayalam is traditionally known to make great content. And we are going through what I would like to call as a great phase where, consistently coming up with really good content and executing it well. But Vijay's been really kind on putting all the credit on the creators and not taking anything for Amazon Prime Video itself. Because it is not that Malayalam cinema just recently, couple of years back, decided one fine day we will now make content that will travel the world. We've always been making content like that. I believe Amazon Prime Video has given us a showcase, a platform where the world can now discover us. This whole conversation around Malayalam cinema, everything about that conversation might be very new to somebody who's not been following Malayalam cinema, who's been a recent, uh, for whom Malayalam cinema has been a recent discovery. But for us, it is just that we have now finally got a platform where we can put our content on, we can put our talent on, we can showcase our skill, our technicians, our writers, our directors, and tell the world, there's a small industry where we really punch much above our weight. So that way, I should be thankful to Amazon Prime Video too for giving us this opportunity. Kuruthi, interestingly, is a year back, I was under quarantine after having tested positive for COVID. And I had this huge backlog of scripts that I had not read. And among the scripts, I started picking the smaller ones first, to read while I was in quarantine. And there was a small little synopsis that I read. And I immediately thought, hey, hang on, how did I miss this? So then I got in touch with Manu and I said, I don't remember when you sent me this or who you are, but I'd like us to talk on this. So then Manu came, we spoke on what was essentially the core idea of Kuruthi. And Anish, our writer, sent me the first draft of Kuruthi, which Manu and Anish will agree was quite different from now. And then all of us sat down and we made our vision, all our visions align. So finally, Manu and Anish got together and wrote what is Kuruthi today. And then the challenge was executing the film. And I knew from the beginning that Kuruthi is all about performances. It is about casting the right actor for the right role. And I had told Manu that it might take longer than we hope, than we like. But unless and until I get the best actors for the correct roles in this film, I don't think I want to go on floors. But as luck would have it, Roshan was the first person I reached out to. He immediately agreed. Srinta agreed. Murli agreed. I don't think I've gone to a second option for any character in this film. So it's all been everybody who heard the story or heard the narration from Anish. They immediately said we want to do this. So it was all very quick. The final draft was written. We went on floors in under 3 weeks, and we shot the film under a month. We post-produced it very, very fast, and we were so excited about what we had created. And then this wait, for not being able to bring this film to the theaters, that has been the most frustrating of the entire process. And there again, my life partner in cinema now, as my wife would say, Amazon Prime Video came to rescue me and said, give us the film. So I'm happy. I'm glad that it is Amazon Prime Video because in 240 plus territories, for people to sit back this Onam and watch what is our labor of love in ultra high resolution with great sound, nothing more you could ask for. Given the circumstances, I wouldn't be comfortable coming in front of a camera and saying, hey, come to the theaters with your family. I'd much rather that you sit at home in the safety of your own household and enjoy this Onam day with your family and watch Kuruthi together.
Yes, the reach is definitely going to be wider. And as you spoke about the actors, so was it tough being an actor and a producer at the same time, handling two roles?
I've never been an actor and a producer. I take decisions on the creative side. The check needs to be signed by my wife, so she takes care of that. Being an actor and a producer has never really been a botheration for me. Being an actor and a director is slightly tough, like what I'm doing right now. I'm shooting a film called Bro Daddy, where I'm also playing a full-length role and I'm directing the film. That is tough. I have newfound respect for legends like Clint Eastwood and Bhagra sir and Balachandra Menon sir and all these legends. So.
No, so wishing you all the best. You become a multitasker. So
thank you. I hope I don't disappoint. Yeah.
You have always chosen films with care, experimented with genres, and tried to give life to compelling stories. What made you sign on Kuruthi?
All of the above. The fact that the story is very, very compelling. And like Murli mentioned, I think it's a film that these times demand. It is also about, the very basic essence of human nature. And when I say stuff as generic as this, it could sound like a million other films. But it is about the group of people who, when pushed to the edge, what happens to the human instinct in them? How do they change? How do they react? What happens to relationships between them? And although the plot in itself is presented in a very micro awesome way, it speaks of something much larger. It speaks of something much bigger. It speaks of a philosophy that is much bigger than the film itself. And none of this happens in a preachy way at all. All this is packaged as a fast-paced action / socio-political thriller with edge of the seat moments and action and chase sequences. So this was the process that Manu, Anish, and me went through from the first draft to the final draft. Because Manu and Anish are very honest filmmakers. I am more the mainstream guy. So I was the one who pulled Manu and Anish and said, listen, I'm not looking at winning a slew of awards for this film. I'm looking at millions of people watching this film and enjoying what they are seeing. So I don't know how far away from their original vision I pulled them to, but I know they are happy with what the film is today, and I couldn't be happier with what the film is today. So it is very much yeah. So it is very much a very mainstream, fast-paced film. Speaking of things and speaking of topics that are very important to be spoken about in today's times.
Can you tell us about the title of the film, Kuruthi, and how does it justify the film?
So Kuruthi, as a Malayalam word, basically means something, it basically a holy offering of life. As our tagline reads, the holy slaughter. So within the plot, what happens is there is a force that wants to kill, and then there is a force that wants to protect. The screenplay is designed in a way where an unstoppable force of violence meets an immovable object of faith. So it is basically, this unstoppable force of violence versus this immovable object of faith. And who is for you to discover after watching the film. And in the process, there will be Kuruthis. There will be, slaughters offered up. അപ്പോൾ ഈ കുരുതി കൊടുക്കുക എന്ന് പറയുന്ന നമ്മുടെ പദപ്രയോഗത്തിന്റെ ഒരർത്ഥം ഈ സിനിമയുടെ കഥാതന്തുവിൽ വളരെ പ്രസക്തിയുള്ളതാണ്. ഈ സിനിമ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഇരുവശങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് ചിന്തിക്കുമ്പോഴും കുരുതി എന്ന വാക്കിന്, കുരുതി കൊടുക്കുക എന്ന വാക്യത്തിന് ഒരു പ്രസക്തിയുള്ള ഒരു കഥ ഈ സിനിമയ്ക്കുണ്ടെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു.
നന്ദി. Thank you so much.
You definitely didn't date your wife speaking in Malayalam. That much I know.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
Kuruthi boasts of an ensemble cast from young to veteran artists, and with multiple characters, characterization play a crucial role. Has the film taken care of this aspect?
Yeah, so Kuruthi is pretty much about the characters. The story is the story of the characters. Which is why at the beginning of the discussion about the film, I said that I knew very clearly right from the beginning that if this film has to be right, the casting has to be right. So I was very particular until and unless we got the best actors for the correct characters, we would not go on floors. Luckily, like I said, everybody who we went to read the script and immediately came on board. So I can very confidently say that right from senior most Mamakoya sir to Naslin or Sagar Surya, the two young boys who are in the film, none of them will walk away from the film thinking they didn't have a significant part to play within the plot. You cannot take one character away from the plot and still have Kuruthi as a complete film. That is, I think, one of the nicer intricacies about the screenplay, because the story traverses through each person, and at each there are particular points at which the story is traveling from each character's perspective. So at points you're with Ibrahim and you see what he is thinking, then you switch over to Laik and you see what he is thinking, and the same for everyone. And even Sumati, I think Kuruthi of late, would have one of the most powerful female characters you would have seen in mainstream Malayalam cinema.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And with that, since sir, you've joined us from your shoot, and I know you have to head back.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell
unfortunately
our friends from the media who joined us that we'll have to excuse Prithiviraj sir, as he's taken time out from his busy shooting schedule. So thank you so much, sir, for joining in. Wishing you all the best for joining us this up, and wishing you all the best for your film. And in advance, Unasham Sagal.
എല്ലാ മലയാളികൾക്കും ഇന്നോടെ എത്തിച്ചേർന്ന മാധ്യമ സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾക്കും എന്റെ സ്നേഹം നിറഞ്ഞ ഓണാശംസകൾ. സമൃദ്ധിയും ഐശ്വര്യവും നിറഞ്ഞ ഓണക്കാലം ഇക്കൊല്ലം ഉണ്ടാകട്ടെ. ഒരുപാട് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകൾക്കിടയിൽ കൂടെ സഞ്ചരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഈ ലോകത്ത് ചെറിയ ചെറിയ സന്തോഷങ്ങളോടുകൂടി നമുക്ക് ആഘോഷിക്കാം. ഈ ഓണക്കാലത്ത് എല്ലാവരും വീട്ടിലിരുന്ന് കുടുംബസമേതം കുരുതി എന്ന സിനിമ കാണണം. ഈ സിനിമയ്ക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും ആഗ്രഹവും പ്രാർത്ഥനയും ഉണ്ടാകണം. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം. You can ask your wife what that means. So,
I know, definitely.
Okay.
But I did get a cut, so do have some prayers, give your best wishes for the film.
Yeah.
Look forward to it on the 11th of August. Wishing you all the
Sure.
best. Thank you so much. And have a good
Bye-bye.
shoot. Thank you.
Thank you.